All right, what is up, guys? So in today's video, I'm going to tell you if I were to start exactly back at square one in 2025 and wanted to get lean, this is the exact blueprint that I would follow to do it. Over the last few years, I've lost about 40 pounds of body fat and gained quite a bit of muscle. And I've tried just about every single diet out there, and I've tried every single hack. I've done the things that have worked, and I've also done a lot of things that haven't worked. So in today's video, I'm going to share my knowledge with you guys just so you have a direct path from A to B and know exactly how you can change your body, change your physique, and actually get into great shape. I've seen so many videos on YouTube that are meant for bodybuilders or specific types of sports, but it never just seemed like there was a channel that was actually meant for just the normal average guy like myself. And so what I want to do is just talk to the normal average guy today and tell you exactly how you can get a great physique. Because for the longest time, I thought that really only athletes or bodybuilders with great genetics could get awesome physiques, but that's actually not the case. As long as you just do these very simple basic principles that I'm about to share with you, you can really change your life and change your body. All right, guys, so just so you know, this is what I used to look like. I just want to show you this so you know that I actually made a transformation. I'm not just blowing smoke out of my ass. You can see that I actually did change my physique in quite a major way. And like I said earlier, I tried just about everything, but fortunately, the things that worked are actually the most basic principles. So I was able to completely change my body, and you can see I lost quite a bit of body fat, gained quite a bit of muscle, and just overall look a lot more aesthetic. And the whole point of this, guys, is that if I can do it, anyone can. All right, so there's going to be three things that we're going to talk about today, guys. Three things that if you implement into your life, I can guarantee will make a big difference and will allow you to completely change your body. The first thing we're going to talk about, and I would say the biggest, most important thing you can do right now today, is changing your diet. If I wanted to get lean in 2025, the very first thing that I would do is I would cut out the processed foods. I would say that people eating processed food is about 80 to maybe even 90% of the problem. I would just simply start eating out less, cut out the drive-thrus, all the fast food. And this was a big issue for me. When I was at my heaviest, a lot of my meals consisted of just going through the drive-thru after work, picking up some fast food. So trust me, guys, I get it. I know how convenient it is, but quite frankly, that stuff is ultra processed, ultra addictive, and it's really hard to make a change if that's the quality of your diet. Instead, what I'd recommend is focus on whole foods, a whole foods diet with an emphasis on protein in particular. The golden rule of protein is we want to get about 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight. So for instance, I'm 165 pounds, so that means that every day I try to eat about 165 grams of protein. That'll ensure that we're getting enough protein in to make sure that we can grow our muscles. And if you're wondering what whole foods means, whole foods simply just means the not ultra processed junk food. So it's like fruits, animal meats, vegetables, all the healthy stuff that you kind of already know. And if you've ever heard of the acronym KISS, it just means keep it simple, stupid. We don't want to overcomplicate this process. For me, that's what held me back for many years. It's what kept me spinning my wheels is I would just make the process far too complicated. If you're just starting out, the golden rule I would follow right now is just eat the stuff that we all know is good and don't eat the stuff that we all know is bad. And I think quote unquote junk fasting is a really helpful thing to do. It's basically where you simply just eat all the foods you want that are healthy. So like you don't have to eat stuff that is gross and doesn't taste good to you. Like if you don't like certain healthy foods, then don't eat those healthy foods. Just find the healthy foods that you actually enjoy eating. Like for me, I love fruits, I love ground beef, I love steak, so I just eat a ton of that stuff. So just find the stuff that you know is already healthy and then find the stuff that's healthy that you enjoy eating and just eat a bunch of that. After cutting out the processed food and junk fasting, you'll notice that the cravings for junk food will actually temper down. If you stop eating junk for about 1 to 2 weeks, at least for me personally, I noticed that my cravings for the ultra processed sugary stuff does tend to go away. And you'll just generally start to feel better. You'll notice that you'll have a stabilized energy balance, your skin will start to look better, your hair will start to look better. For me, when I was eating a lot of junk food, I noticed I had this like really just kind of oily, greasy feel on my skin. And when I cut out the junk food, that went away. So it's crazy how big of a difference this stuff will make. Next thing we're gonna talk about is the exercises. I always recommend weightlifting for everyone, whether you're older, younger, whether you're a guy or girl. I think weightlifting is super beneficial no matter where you're at in your fitness journey. The more muscle you have means that the more calories you will burn at rest because your body has to use more calories to sustain your muscles. So that means you can actually eat a little bit more if you're more muscular, which is awesome. So the other thing too is it is possible to lose body fat and gain muscle at the same time. For some people, depending on where you're at, Especially if you're just starting out in the gym, it is totally possible to both lose body fat and gain muscle at the same time. But ultimately, the goal during a fat loss period should be to maintain or even gain as much muscle as possible. For me, I'm a pretty advanced lifter, so I don't necessarily expect to lose body fat and gain muscle at the same exact time. But whenever I'm doing a fat loss phase, my whole priority is just maintain as much muscle mass as I can while I lose body fat. And I think cardio is great, but guys, we always want to prioritize the weights. Just do the cardio after your weight training if you want to do dedicated cardio. The reason why is because this will allow your weight training to be more effective. You have a finite amount of calories or energy in the day, especially during a fat loss period, and we want to utilize the highest quality of our energy to weight train. We want to put the most amount of intensity towards our weight training and then do the dedicated cardio after. For me, if I do dedicated cardio, my preferred forms would be Stairmaster or stationary bike. And sometimes just walking on the treadmill too. You don't necessarily have to do dedicated cardio if you don't want to. If not, just try to get general movement in your life. Try not to be a couch potato. Get up, make sure you're getting your steps in. Take the stairs instead of the elevator. Golden rule is 10,000 steps a day, so just try to walk more places. I enjoy that method because it means that I don't really have to think about dedicated cardio, but you still get a lot of steps in and you're actually still getting your heart rate up throughout the day. And for people who are new, this is kind of interesting. I think a lot of people think of they're gaining muscles in the gym, but the way that muscle building actually works is your muscles are normal before the gym, and during the gym when we're actually doing our exercise, we're actually damaging our muscles. That is what the whole point of working out is we're actually damaging the muscle fibers, because once we recover and rest, our body heals those muscles and actually heals them to be stronger and better than they were before. So technically speaking, when you're weight training, you're actually damaging your muscle, but you do this with the intention so that when your body heals the muscle, it will be bigger and stronger. So you're tearing it down just to build it up and be better when it heals. And then the last thing, guys, I would say this is like the X factor for getting into great shape, would be what I call momentum. Momentum is that wind at your back feeling when you really get into the flow of something and it just starts to feel easier as time goes on. I think that the hardest part of making changes is the initial change, because that's where friction comes about, because you're just not used to doing that thing yet. You're not used to going to the gym or going for runs or eating healthier. So there's a lot of friction at first, and that's where most people quit. So think about like New Year's resolution gym members. People who have initial motivation that drove them to take action, but then the initial friction quickly causes them to stop. A big thing with like New Year's resolution or waiting to a specific time is there's never going to be a perfect time to do something. The best time to do something is now. It's just when you can take action, because it's better to take action and learn even if you mess up than to not take action at all. And discipline is what's going to get you through those periods of friction. So you make a change. It's different than what you're used to. You experience initial friction, but you continue to do that thing through self-discipline, and that's what will actually get you through periods of friction. It's not going to be motivation. You're not going to feel motivated to do the healthy habits all the time, but what you can do is always employ the principles of discipline to get you through the initial periods of friction. And ultimately, guys, I think that if there's one thing that will get you lean in 2025, one thing that will get you healthy, it's you need to be led by your goals and not your emotions. I would say this is the biggest single thing, guys. If there's one thing you can do to get into great shape, it's you need to be led by your goals and not your emotions. A lot of people are led by how they feel, by their emotions, by what they're feeling today. Do I feel like going to the gym? Do I not feel like going to the gym? Do I feel like eating healthy? Do I not feel like eating healthy? Guys, your emotions, yes, they are real, but they should not take priority over your self-discipline. Your self-discipline is the thing that says, okay, I don't feel very motivated today, but I'm still going to go to the gym despite that. So you need to be led by your goals and having a vision for what you want to be and the kind of person you want to be. And those actions will actually affirm your identity, right? Because when you take action, you take massive action towards achieving your goal and you start to make progress, you actually affirm to yourself that you are the kind of person who does what he says he's going to do. You got to keep the promises that you make to yourself. That's really, really important. Now, a lot of people will also ask, hey, what about like the specific exercises? What about the specific diet? What should I eat on a day-to-day basis? Well, if you're interested in that, guys, I actually just wrote an entire book called The Aesthetic Protocol. It's literally everything I know about getting into shape, just put into one easy, simple format that anyone can take advantage of. I can guarantee if you read it, if you absorb it, if you actually implement it into your life, it will make a massive difference. It's just the price of a couple cups of coffee, but I spent a lot of time writing it because I really do want it to provide a lot of value to you guys. So go check that out in the description down below. But anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. We're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. So I believe we can do that. We got a great community here. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.